watching movies and jamming out. KFLX 198.4 Fiction Radio.
Welcome back to KFLX Fiction Radio. This week is another one of those special little episodes where it's a real album released by a fictional character and more than likely one you've never heard of.
Yeah, probably. This one is not a WWE legend like last time.
It is not, but a cinematic legend.
Oh, very much so. We're talking Joe Pesci.
Oh yeah, an Oscar winner.
And specifically, we're here to talk about his album, Vincent LaGuardia Gambini Sings Just For You.
From 1998.
From 98, but it is performed, at least partially, in character as Vincent Vinny Gambini from the film My Cousin Vinny.
From 1992.
Shawn, I'd never seen My Cousin Vinny before.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I thought it was great. I thought it was so funny.
It's really, really good. It holds up.
I mean, at some point it's going to come up that I'm woefully unfamiliar with Joe Pesci's career. Like, I've definitely seen him in Home Alone more than anything else. I wore that VHS out as a kid.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, My Cousin Vinny was super fun.
Super charming underdog story where you're just genuinely rooting for him to succeed.
Yeah. It's a movie that starting out in it, I was like super anxious. I get really anxious. And I think you mentioned that you share this with like misunderstanding stories.
Yes, for sure.
and so like I know how it's going to end. It's a comedy. I know how it's going to end.
Right.
These kids are not going to get thrown away for a false murder charge. But yeah, the way it plays out is really cool. The way it plays out is apparently lauded by law professionals as being fairly accurate, or at least portraying the concepts of law sort of accurately.
Oh,
not
okay.
like, this is exactly how it would go. Like, he's getting thrown in jail for contempt and riding the prison bus every night. But no, just like the concepts are sound from what I've read.
Gotcha. Okay. Copy that.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how much we want to talk about the movie because, like you said, unlike most episodes, this is not about the movie.
No, it really is not. It just is in the character of Vinny, though I would argue most of the songs are not in the character of Vinny. Two of them specifically are.
Sure, yeah. Two of them we can say for sure he's doing it as Vinny.
Right.
The others are just sort of Joe Pesci songs because Joe Pesci started out as a singer, or at least that's what he was pursuing well before he was pursuing acting.
Yeah, lounge singing and a pretty good guitarist, to my understanding.
Yeah, and all of this developed out of, I guess, his parents sort of, he was like a showbiz kid. They tried to get him in the business really early.
Yeah.
Which, was a thing that I think he has mixed feelings about.
I can understand. Yeah, I think a lot of kids who had that experience have mixed feelings about it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Before we get too deep into the history, so you had never seen My Cousin Vinny, the movie.
Correct.
Did you first hear about this album when I presented it as a pick for this show?
No.
When did you first hear about it?
Oh, I could not pinpoint it for you.
Okay.
Could not pinpoint it. I just know that I've definitely heard of it, and I've heard at least one or two songs from it. It's not something I was very familiar with, but I definitely feel like it existed in my brain as something I've heard of.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, you have known me for a very, very long time.
I'm sure I heard of it. I'm almost positive I heard of it from you. Yeah, I would say that's a safe bet.
And I have been a big fan of this property since before I even knew you, because I was exposed to this album in 98 or 99 as a kid.
So you bought it when it dropped kind of deal?
Sort of, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do you remember those, now this is going to make us sound super old, but there used to be a way for you to buy albums in the mail. And they used to cold call, just like send you, BMG and Columbia House were the two big companies. They would just send out blankets, like blankets send out like these huge stamp booklets. And they would be like, pick 12 records. And then you could get them for $3. And then, but you had to join the program for like a year. And then you were locked into whatever shit they wanted to give you.
Well, it was always like a hostage situation almost. You had to send them back what you wanted on like a mail-in thing, and if you didn't get back to them in time, you'd get whatever was the thing they were releasing that month, and it was always like Celine Dion or something you super didn't want. That's how albums got like crazy high sales in the 90s, I think, by the way.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
If you don't say anything, you get that. And then, oh, look, it's platinum selling.
I never thought about it like that, but you're probably right.
I mean, it's all rigged. It's like the New York Times bestseller. There's just warehouses full of books that get bought up by the publisher. Yeah, it's all a racket.
Anyway, I'm a kid, and I'm looking through this Columbia House stamp guide, and I see that Joe Pesci has an album, and I lose my little kid brain. So for weeks, I'm begging my parents to like, please let me join the Columbia House Music Club. I have to get this Joe Pesci CD. It's not at Music Biz, the local record store.
Oh man, I remember Music Biz.
Right? R.I.P. Music Biz. But it's not at Music Biz. Please, this is the only way I could ever get this right. So they let me join Columbia House, and I still have the CD at my mom's house.
Oh my God, that's amazing. So, okay, real quick, were you excited as a Home Alone fan as a kid, or had you at this point in your life taken in Goodfellas and like the Scorsese stuff? Like, how were you aware of Joe Pesci in 1998?
So I was a big Home Alone fan, Home Alone 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. I didn't see Goodfellas until I was an adult, so that definitely wasn't it.
Okay.
But I was such a huge fan of this other Joe Pesci movie called The Super.
Oh.
Where he's the super of an apartment complex. And it's like his dad owns a bunch of apartment complexes, and he's like a sleazy landlord, right? So that's what Joe Pesci, like he starts off in like this really shitty apartment, because it's his first one that his dad gives him. And he's like this pile of shit, and he's treating everybody like pile of shit. And then he starts to become part of the community, and then, it's like this feel good, rah-rah kind of movie. It was one of those movies that my parents were like, oh, well, there's nothing bad about this. Like, we can let him watch this movie, The Super.
Sure.
So, yeah, I was just a really big fan of Joe Pesci. I can't remember I think Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag might have been after that, but I can't remember.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that. You just made me think of that movie title for the first time in decades, probably. That's crazy. And obviously you were familiar with My Cousin Vinny at that point.
Yeah. It's not one that was like heavy in the rotation, but I had seen it at that point.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was definitely watching The Super way more.
I love that. That I've never heard of that movie. I want to go watch it.
Now that our history with Joe Pesci is over, let's get into the history of Joe Pesci and music.
Yes.
We've already mentioned that he started off as a lounge singer and a guitarist, but there is a lot of fantastic information about Joe Pesci's musical background that you sent to me today, Dustin.
Yeah.
It was very fascinating.
Pretty late in the game, right before record time, I found this clip called Joe Pesci's Life is More Interesting Than You Would Think, published on YouTube by Weird History.
Fantastic video.
It's got some great facts in it. I guess number one we'll start with is he's like kind of responsible for putting the Four Seasons together.
Fucking mind-blowing.
Frankie Valli's band.
Yeah. Well, he was Frankie's barber.
He was Frankie's barber, which, by the way, that's like glossed over, and I can't find anything else about Joe Pesci's career as a barber, but like he cut hair.
Wild.
At some point in his life before being a performer.
What an interesting existence this man has had.
It's more interesting than you would think, according to this video title.
Yeah. I agree. He also knew one of the other members of the Four Seasons. I can't remember his name right now, but he played keyboards.
So he just basically introduced people.
Yeah.
Which, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, they've been around a while. They have some hits.
Yeah, they have one of the most successful modern Broadway shows. Like Jersey Boys was huge.
I'd heard of Jersey Boys. I had no idea it was about them.
Yeah.
All thanks to Joe Pesci.
Yeah. I had no idea about any of that.
No. So in 1968, Joe Pesci released his first solo album.
Yes, it was all covers.
And it was released under the title Little Joe Sure Can Sing.
It's mostly like Bee Gees and Beatles songs.
It is a lot of songs by those two groups in particular, yes. Which was not a terribly uncommon thing to do in the late 60s. The Beatles were the thing, so everybody was chasing that. Everybody was trying to do that.
Absolutely.
I've got a clip here from his take on the Beatles' Got to Get You Into My Life.
And I want you to hear me say we'll be together every day.
I mean, it's fairly true to form with the original, but it's also like in this like kind of loungy style.
Yeah.
From like his squeaky little voice when he's young. Like, I mean, he's known for that voice throughout his career, but like especially there, he's really reaching for that top register.
There are quite a few times on that album from 68 where it doesn't really sound like Pesci's normal voice because he's like so young. There were a few times where I was like, oh, like you just sound like a lounge singer here.
Yeah, definitely. He had a thing going. I think he only started acting because he wanted to like pay the bills so he could do more music. Initially, at least.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, turned into a hell of a side gig.
Yeah, certainly did.
Yeah, so 68, and then not long after he's in, when's Raging Bull?
80?
Oh, that much later? Really? I thought it was 70s. Yeah, 80. Bang on. Look at you. So, Shawn, this would be a good part of the show for me to confess something.
Oh, okay.
I started to confess this to you before we started recording, and you told me to save it.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I have never seen the film Raging Bull.
Okay.
I have seen Taxi Driver. I don't think Pesci's in that one.
He's not.
Speaking of Scorsese films, never seen Raging Bull. I've also never seen Goodfellas.
Uh-huh.
I've also never seen Casino.
Sure, yeah.
Just missing a lot of mobster. I've never seen The Godfather, not Scorsese, but related. I don't have a lot of experience in mobster world. I have seen the Coen brothers
Godfather
movie.
3.
I've not seen Godfather 3.
That's the only one I saw. It's just the third one.
I figured
Somebody told me I could
they'll
skip
tell you
the
what
other
you need
two.
to know.
Yeah.
What a wild previously on. Yeah, no, I don't know why. I've just never been, I've never gravitated towards the mafia genre. I have seen the Coen brothers mob movie. I have seen The Departed.
Oh, Departed's good.
But I've yet to see The Irishman. I've seen a smattering of other Scorsese films, but there's really no excuse at this point at nearly 40 years old to have not seen these films. But I just want to get it out in the open because I'm going to say some stupid stuff coming up because I don't know anyone from those movies really, if I don't know them from other films.
Well, it's okay, Dustin, because I am not the biggest mob guy either, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's just something about the mob stuff that doesn't hook me like it hooks a lot of other people.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So back to Joe Pesci. What did he do musically after 1968? There must be something between 68 and 1998.
There sure is. Funny you bring it up now after we've discussed these seemingly unrelated Scorsese flicks.
Tie it all together, buddy.
He was in a sort of a vaudeville-style comedy duo, like a Laurel and Hardy type thing.
And this is so fascinating. This is another thing we found out in that amazing video you sent me.
Yeah, he was in this duo with an actor named Frank Vincent, an actor with whom I am completely unfamiliar.
Ah, yes.
And that is what started this whole confession thing.
Yes, well, that is because he is in both Goodfellas and Casino. If I remember correctly, Pesci kills him in Goodfellas and he kills Pesci in Casino, if I remember right.
That's right. I remember hearing that in the video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they've each whacked each other in different mob films. But the two of them had a like a comedy routine thing going, and they released a novelty song. Like you did in 1972.
Yeah.
What I'm about to play you is called Can You Fix the Way I Talk for Christmas?
Ho, ho, ho! Come on now, little boy. Let me hear you say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Come on now, try it again.
The gist of the joke seems to be that it's a kid who has like a stutter, very akin to the Porky Pig voice. It really sounds like Joe Pesci is doing a Porky Pig.
Oh, yeah, totally does.
Almost undeniably. But the concession here is that it's a kid, and he's got a stutter, and he wants Santa to fix it for Christmas.
Yeah, okay.
Wild Things were released in the 60s and 70s in attempts to top the music charts.
That's a novelty song for you.
That is a novelty song for you. That being said, I'm a little more interested in the B-side to this song.
It's so good.
It's a song called Little People Blues. It features presumably a ton of musicians. I unfortunately don't have names for most of them. Joe Pesci plays guitar on this. There are no vocals, and it goes like this. There's little Joe. And this thing is like a funk jam.
It is. It feels like it should be in like a exploitation movie from the 70s.
Yeah, it's in that world. Sure. Like, it is a jam. Listen to this. There's a whole organ bit.
Oh, yeah. It's a slick song.
I wanted to play a couple clips there because it just builds. It's a really slick song. I wish I knew more about who played everything else on it.
Right.
Because I'm sure it would be fascinating, and I'm sure there would be some really killer musicians in that room.
I mean, the Frankie Valli connection alone, like, who else did he know that he is just pulling into his life musically, for things?
Yeah. Now, that said, the one thing besides Joe Pesci's involvement that I could find, and Frank Vincent's presumable involvement, I don't know what he played. So I don't know what he played, so what I could find was the songwriting credit for Little People Blues.
Oh.
And that belongs to a guy by the name of Robert Ellen. I say that because his real name was Bob Shad, but he wrote a lot under the pseudonym Robert Ellen.
Okay.
As we go into this tangent that I'm launching on, Bob Shad and Robert Ellen are the same person. I might use either name.
Okay.
This guy wasn't just a songwriter. He was a music producer, and he founded several record labels of his own. So he was kind of a big deal.
All right.
So my guess already out the gate is that this is like a group of studio musicians that were either working for or signed to his label.
Okay.
That played on this. That's just a guess, but that's kind of how things went at the time.
Sure.
And it was also, a way for him to get some extra money off the album because he's got all his in-house people playing. Speculation.
Of course.
Now, the reason that I'm so interested in Bob Shad is because of a little song called Junko Partner.
Never heard of it.
Now, the reason I first became familiar with Junko Partner is because I'm such a Clash nerd, and it appears on the 1980 Clash album Sandinista.
Oh, you do love that record.
I do love that record. It was a wild, experimental triple LP that the Clash recorded in New York. It's got Caribbean influence. It's got American blues influence. It's got hip-hop. They're dabbling in, doing the Blondie thing. Rock band dabbling in hip-hop. There's a lot going on in Sandinista. It's a great record. But I've also always known for a long time that Junko Partner goes way back to early jazz and blues, and I kind of knew that it originated in the New Orleans music scene. Right?
Okay.
So this producer, Robert, Bob, whatever we're calling him, just so happens to have the first songwriting credit for Junko Partner. And that is for the 1951 recording by James Wayne for Bob's record label.
Down the road came a Junko Partner. Boy, he was loaded as can be.
Well, that's stripped down a lot more.
It's quite stripped down. I mean, it's much closer to the blues song it originated as. Mm-hmm. Now, I did say he has the first songwriting credit. Does that mean he wrote it? No. No, it does not.
Of course not.
Turns out all the musicians in New Orleans already knew this tune. Drug addicts around town knew this tune. Inmates at Angola State Prison sang this tune. It was really well known. It was a folk song, basically.
Oh.
In fact, this quote-unquote original recording of Junko Partner was itself a take on Junker's Blues, which was written by Willie Hall in the 1920s. Now, there's no recording of Willie Hall's version. Just didn't happen. But there is a recording of Junker's Blues by a man named Champion Jack Dupree, who was an apprentice of Willie Hall's, and he referred to Willie Hall as his father. He was not his real biological father, but sort of in the vein of the blues. He raised him, like the Blues Brothers. So this is the 1940 recording by Champion Jack Dupree.
'Cause I'm loaded all the time. I don't use no reefer, I be knocked but that Angie wine.
So anyway, after the Bob Shad recording in 1951, it kind of becomes a hit.
Okay.
And this song starts to go on a journey. And even before that, in 1949, actually 2 years before the James Wayne Bob Shad recording, we get Fats Domino's song, The Fat Man. Tell me if this sounds familiar.
They call me the fat man, 'cause I went to 100 pounds. All the girls, they love me, 'cause I know my way around.
Then, after the Bob Shad recording, all kinds of versions. 1952, we get Louis Jordan. I really like this one.
Came a jungle partner. Boy.
Oh, this one's got like sort of a junkyard band feel to it.
Yeah,
With like
I love
that,
it.
like wood block clacking around.
It's total like, there's like cartoon music inspiration in there.
For sure.
Following that, in 1959, we get a version, this one under the title Preacher's Daughter, by a guy named Roland Stone, which is a great name,
Great name, yeah.
and a take on Rolling Stones that I've not heard yet.
Down the road, down the road, down the road, from a preacher's daughter.
So this happens a lot. You get slightly altered lyrics, but it's the same tune.
Sure.
In 1961, Roland covers it again. This time it's called Down the Road.
Well, down the road, from a Jocko Kohne. He was tore up, Lord, tore up as can be.
Now that recording was done with a group whose band leader was a guy named Mac Rebennack. You ever heard of Mac Rebennack?
Nope. Another great name.
It's a great name, but he did kind of end up changing it and became far more known under his new name, Dr. John.
Oh.
Yeah, Dr. John, who we talked about in Blues Brothers and Muppets.
Yeah.
Sort of the inspiration for Dr. Teeth.
Yeah. Real quick about the version of it that you just played there.
Yeah.
The horns. Now, I don't know if this is like just because of the equipment that was used in the recording or whatever, but they're almost compressed to a point where it sounds kazoo-like.
Yeah.
Like a thing that I notice a lot in listening to some really old recordings of songs with horns in there. Sometimes they come off like kazoos in a way.
Yeah, I think part of that might be like the mute, the plunger mute that you sometimes see them
right.
use. That can definitely have that effect. And then, yeah, you're right. Part of it could totally be just microphone technology.
Yeah, of course, because back in the day, it's like, well, this is the mic we have. Could we get better mics? Yes, but this is the mic we have.
Well, it's the mic we have, and mics were like crazy sensitive then. If you were too loud, the ribbon would actually blow out and your mic was done.
Oh, yeah.
So you had to be careful. That's a good point. I like that though. I like the sound that you're describing though. I think of it fondly.
Oh, for sure. Very fond of the sound. It just struck me immediately of like, oh, it's got those like almost kazoo horns. Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's a good
I like
description. Yeah. It is kazoo-like. So moving on down the road, in 1961, Chuck Berry releases the song The Man and the Donkey.
Down the road, came a tired little donkey. Much he was loaded, till he head hung down.
It's a donkey this time, but he's still loaded.
Yeah.
Just loaded with stuff, I guess. I don't know.
That was like the guitar on that. Like he was playing really low on the neck to get like those plucky sounds, right? Like how is he getting the plucky sort of sound there?
I think he's playing his normal Chuck style, but there's no like amplifier distortion.
Okay.
He's just cleaner than we usually hear Chuck.
Gotcha.
Maybe. I'm hypothesizing. I don't know.
It just sounded like, listen, I don't play the guitar, so I'm probably going to cut this, but like it just sounds like the strings are extra taut. Like on that song specifically, it just sounds like there's like extra taut, almost like the ukulele or something. Like it just sounds like a little bit different than normal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I totally get what you're saying, and I noticed that when I played it too. Like, oh, this sounds a little different from normal Chuck. I don't know if it's a different guitar altogether.
Sure.
It almost leans toward the acoustic side. I think it's definitely still an electric guitar, but maybe it's a hollow body or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It does have a notable difference, but it's funny because you can definitely hear that it's Chuck playing it. Like those licks are 100% Chuck Berry.
Oh, absolutely. It's the same style. It just sounds a little different than normal. Sorry, I'm just critiquing the shit out of the songs you're playing blame me now.
No, I love this. No, this is great. We should have a conversation around them because that's transformative content, Shawn. And also, this is a long diatribe I decided to go on, so I'm glad you're getting involved.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Happy to be here, bud.
So, from Chuck, and this is not a comprehensive or exhaustive list. We'd be here for days, probably. In 1972, Dr. John himself throws his hat in the ring.
Oh, good.
With his trademark gravelly voice.
Yeah, he's got such a fun vocal style.
You can see why they went that direction with Dr. Teeth.
You really can. It was a good pick.
Yeah, I think it all worked out great for them. Moving on in the Junko Partner Odyssey in 1980, we get the Clash version, but that wasn't even their first version, sort of. Before the Clash, Joe Strummer was in a band called the 101ers, and they covered Junko Partner.
I was born in Virgin House.
Which kind of, you can hear it bridging the gap from the blues original to the sort of reggae style that the Clash lands on.
Totally. Though I do like that 101ers version.
It's real nice.
It has a very fun energy to it.
There's some good 101er stuff. They're kind of like just like fun barroom music, but they play it in a real fun way.
Yeah.
In 1986,
REO
Bob
Speedwagon,
Dylan releases so close. In 86, Bob Dylan releases an album called Knocked Out Loaded, which just references the lyrics of the song. He does not cover it. I'm not going to play anything for that one.
Oh, okay.
But also in 1986, the Hindu Love Gods do perform a cover of this. And if you're not familiar with the Hindu Love Gods, it's one album. Check it out. It's Warren Zevon and basically everyone but Michael Stipe from REM getting knocked out loaded every night and covering songs.
Down the road, about Junko Partner. He was loaded as he could be.
That's fun.
I fucking love Zevon. I'm a devotee. I love everything he's done. And that was super fun. There's a cover of Raspberry Beret by Prince on that album. I think is fantastic.
Oh, shit.
So that was 86. We're going to fast forward now. There's probably some more in the 90s, almost definitely. But we're going to fast forward to 2001 to get a
Limp
little taste
Bizkit.
of Harry Connick Jr.'s.
He was knocked out loaded.
He's an accomplished jazz musician.
He absolutely is. And he's got a sweet, smooth, like loungy version.
Oh, yeah.
Loungy, not lounge like Sinatra lounge, but like lounge like being in an actual lounge.
Exactly. Yes.
No Limp Bizkit that I could find, sadly.
Well, next time.
But in 2013, we do get one by Hugh Laurie.
House himself.
That's right.
He said 6 months.
He's also a very accomplished pianist.
Oh, okay. I was just about to be like, why is that a thing that I'm hearing right now?
He's got a number of albums. He's got quite a recording career, actually.
That's interesting because, I knew about his comedic background of him having a lot of sketch and improv in his history, but I did not know that. That's great.
One of those guys who's done it all. Yeah.
Very Matt Berry-like.
Very Matt Berry. Yeah. I was going to make that reference. Yep, you're totally right. Let's see. Oh, I forgot one. Way back in 1960. This is a version that's a little more country or western. I've heard it described as skiffle. This is a version by a guy named Lonnie Donegan.
Why do I know that name?
You're wondering why you know that name? I didn't know Lonnie Donegan was a real person. Lonnie Donegan is the name that David Letterman used.
Yes!
For Jimmy Fallon.
Okay.
When he was making fun of the whole Tonight Show shenanigans, when Conan got kicked out, he would always Letterman would always refer to Lonnie Donegan over there at NBC.
Right. Yes.
I thought it was a totally made up name. No, it's a 1960s skiffle singer.
Wow. Okay, I knew I had heard that name before. I just could not figure out why.
Yeah.
Wow. Letterman, man.
So that wraps up my little... hopefully short, we'll see how this edits, history of the song Junko Partner, which was written by just about everybody, it seems. But on paper, at least, the credit goes to Robert Ellen, or, as he was known in real life, Bob Shad. Now, does the name Bob Shad ring a bell to you, Shawn?
Kind of, yeah.
Almost a little bit. What if I rephrased it as Bobby Shad?
Yeah. I've definitely heard that.
Bobby Shad was the band leader, played by Craig Robinson, who gives Dewey Cox his break in Walk Hard.
Yes!
Bobby Shad, that character, was named by Judd Apatow after his grandfather, Bob Shad.
The same one that wrote this song?
Yes.
Yeah. Judd Apatow?
Yeah, that's his grandson.
Holy shit. Wow.
Quite a tangent for an episode ostensibly about a Joe Pesci album we haven't talked about yet. But I went down the rabbit hole, and when I landed at Walk Hard, I was like, I gotta share this.
Oh, sure, dude. Yeah. That's crazy. You can't fucking plan that kind of linkage.
No, it's and the little Dr. John in there, I was like, oh man, this has got KFLX all over it.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
Hey, a little update from the future, because we did some digging into this song, the B-side from the Pesci and Vincent Christmas novelty song, which is this all-out, balls-to-the-wall, swinging jazz track that, to be honest, seemed a little weird to have come from Pesci and Vincent. And it turns out this song was actually written and performed by Ernie Wilkins and his orchestra. Now, Ernie Wilkins, a bit of a legend in the jazz world. He worked for a long time with Count Basie. He's worked with Cannonball Adderley, Dinah Washington, Dizzy Gillespie, Buddy Rich, like legends, true legends. But he also worked closely with Bob Shad at Mainstream Records. He was an A&R director at Mainstream Records briefly around the time this album came out. He also, with his orchestra, played a lot of music on records for artists signed to Mainstream. So this song, which was known as Little People Blues on the B-side of the Pesci and Vincent album, was released much later in 2007 on a compilation album called Hard Mother Blues, which features music by Ernie Wilkins and his orchestra. And lo and behold, the exact same track is there, and it's called Bigfoot Country. So I have to presume that's its original name, and the credits are correct on this recording because it sounds like the other music being made by Ernie Wilkins and company. So yeah, I can't even say at this point that Pesci and Vincent really had anything to do with this track. The two versions sound exactly the same to me. So I really think it was just the case of the label sort of finding something in the catalog and slapping it on there. And I don't know who was behind that, whether it was Bob Shad or Ernie Wilkins himself, since he was in a leadership role there. So yeah, I don't know. But at least we did find the actual songwriter and performers for that one.
Speaking of KFLX, all over it, and getting us back to the Joe Pesci train that we're here to talk about, his 2019 album. Did you listen to that?
A little bit, yeah.
Pesci still singing?
And it's like I love the album cover. It's him like as a little kid. It's like a reference to the Little Joe era. Or earlier even.
It's a really cute album cover. So the 2019 album, again, all covers. Mm-hmm. Did you listen to his cover of My Sherry and More?
I can't remember specifically. What do you have to say about it?
I feel like you would remember if you did, because our fucking mascot is featured on the song, Adam Levine.
No, I think I missed this one. Oh, there he is.
See my face among the crowd. Oh, maybe someday. Now stay your little.
They kind of found a way to make the voices work together. I was worried. I like Joe's pipes. It's just when you add Adam Levine to something, there's a smoothness to it.
Oh, yeah. That's them doing a little bit of a back and forth. They also have their own separate verses in the song.
Oh, that's nice find. Yes. Can't believe I missed the Levine. That was an easy one to grab.
Bro, I just put it on. I was listening to it as I was washing dishes the other night, and I fucking heard the Levine come in, and I swear to God, I almost shit my pants.
God, did I listen to it and not even clock him somehow?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think I did.
Because, there are times where we have found a way to get Adam Levine, sort of shoehorn him in there in some weird way.
He showed up at the door.
This one was I would have never even looked. I wouldn't even look. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, let me just Google this producer's name with Adam Levine and see what the fuck happens. Like,
Sure.
I never would have looked. And he was just, whoop, here on a platter. Here you go. What's up, boys? I did this fucking song with Joe Pesci.
Oh, it's incredible.
That fucking blew me away. So I'm really glad that you missed it now. That makes it all the better, honestly. So, getting us into the album we're here to talk about, Vincent LaGuardia Gambini sings Just For You. As I mentioned, both of Joe Pesci's other albums are all cover songs. He does not write any of them.
Correct.
But on Vincent LaGuardia Gambini Sings Just For You, he does dabble in songwriting. So I'm going to kick it off with a solo Joe Pesci written song, Take Your Love and Shove It.
Why don't you take your love and shove it up your big fat ass? You know you're the reason we're true. I'm tired of all the yelling and the fights that we had. They won't be cause of you. Hey, you moan and you groan and you bitch and you whine. You make every beef we got last. Well, I'm telling you, baby, I'm through with you. Take your love, shove it up your big fat ass.
Is this to the melody of That's Amore?
Oh shit, is it? I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, I just realized that.
That's pretty funny.
Right? Am I crazy? Like, do you hear that?
I do hear it, yeah. But I think a little sped up.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But it makes it funnier that it's a love, it's about love. Take your love and shove it up your ass.
This is really sort of like a breakup song, if anything.
Right. Yeah. It's an inversion of the Amore. So since I have this little ability to jump in from the future, I'm going to do another one of these. I referenced the song That's Amore here. I, after this, went and listened to That's Amore, and I'm now like, that's not exactly the same melody. It kind of got mixed up in my head. I think maybe I was thinking a little bit more of like the Mexican hat dance, a more traditional like Spanish song. It could be that I was thinking of some other traditional Italian song. And yes, I know that That's Amore is not a traditional Italian song. It was written in 1953. But somewhere out there, I think is the thing I'm trying to say here. Perhaps I'm crazy. And there is no real world analog for the vocal melody that Pesci's doing here. Or perhaps there is something out there that I'm just not able to think of. So if you guys know it, let us know. All right, back to the show.
This song reminded me of something else as well. So there's like a breakdown where he says, like, let me hear from the band, and then he calls out things for the band to do, but the band doesn't participate in the way that he wants them to.
Okay.
Let me hear the trombone. That ain't a fucking trombone. Yeah, let me hear that tinkling piano. That ain't tinkling, that's rolling. That's fucking tinkling.
Now, so Dustin, you are ahead of me on the Lonely Island podcast, but this very much reminded me of something we've talked about before. Saxman.
For sure.
Okay, he's a little shy, but his genius cannot hide. Cause when the sax man starts to wail, they're gonna take you on a ride. Take it, sax man. Ow! Take it, sax man. He'll be right with you folks.
Yeah, in the Pesci verses, the instruments are doing too much. In Saxman, they're not doing enough.
Right, yes. But they didn't bring up this album or that song when they were talking about the Saxman in the podcast, like what happened the last time with the Macho Man album, right?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. Well, even still, I feel like this is another thing that they would have been aware of because of them liking things that are so off the beaten path, you know?
For sure, yeah. I can draw that line. Like, I mean, it's easy for me to draw the line from this to Macho Man, and next track we'll get into exactly why it's really easy. But just as a novelty record by a character.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure they're aware of it.
Sure.
I wonder if this is part of that Lonely Island stew as well. Not that it's even confirmed, that the Macho Man directly inspired anything, but we do know at least that they're aware of it.
Yes, and honestly, that's a big enough win for us because you made the call, then you found out about it later, and that was an amazing experience. But yeah, that was it. Definitely tripped my sax man radar when I heard that. I was like, oh shit.
Same for sure. Yeah. So this album, Vincent LaGuardia Gambini Sings Just For You, I'm never going to get tired of saying that full thing. It's mostly like this loungy, big bandy, jazz vocal style, right?
Yes.
Except for one track in particular. A track by the name of Wise Guy.
Supermodels, one on each arm. One chick's brunette, the other was blonde. I heard their fathers had stocks and bonds. So
Oh, hey, didn't I mention Blondie earlier at some point?
You did mention Blondie.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, I wonder why you're bringing it up again.
Kind of sounds like the bass line from Rapture.
You don't say.
Yeah. Their 1980s hip-hop fusion song.
This song?
Slide, DJ spinning, I said, my, flash is fast, flash is cool, Francois, c'est pas, flash ain't no do.
Yeah.
So much so that Deborah Harry and Chris Stein are credited as writers for this song.
Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that.
The other writers of this song include Joe Pesci and Punchline and Wordsworth, better known as Punch in Words.
So many good, duo names in this episode.
That's true. I found this song by Punch in Words from 2003 called Let's Go Back, and it triggered something else in my mind, so I would like to play the song Let's Go Back by Punch in Words.
Big wheel, green machine. Till the day I make a big deal of the Feli's cream. Pump Reebok's green. Nike had a pump, but it was whack because it came with a plastic tube needed to squeeze. Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Shawn, baseball cards. Still chew it, even though the gum was hard. Remote control cars with the wire attached. Tyco, press the gun too fast and the cars would fly off the track.
So this song is all about going back to, I guess, their childhood. So it's just listing off a bunch of things, that would take you back to that era.
Oh, it's a great nostalgia track. Yeah, I've never heard that, and that is fun.
Right. So naturally, I thought of the LFO song Summer Girls, which does the exact same thing.
Stayed all summer, then went back home. Macaulay Culkin wasn't home alone. Fell deep in love, but now we ain't speaking. Michael J. Fox was Alex P.
Wow, it's more similar than I even thought. Yeah.
Right? One final cool thing about this Wise Guy track is that the song is produced by Poke and Tone of Taskmasters.
Mm-hmm.
And I bring that up because they also produced the LL Cool J song Hey Lover featuring Boys to Men that I played in The Idea of You when we were talking about LL Cool J having the best food sex lyrics.
Yeah. Tongue you down. Like
vanilla ice cream.
Like vanilla ice cream. Trackmasters started as just Poke and Tone and developed into a group of producers known as Trackmasters, and they've done so much stuff. Destiny's Child, Nas, LL Cool J, like you said, Mary J. Blige, Will Smith. They produced the Men in Black song and Wild Wild West.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they're I think that's kind of one foot into this slightly novelty world for them, having done those things. And it would be around the same time.
Yeah, for sure. So, Dustin, you fell down a little rabbit hole during this show.
I sure did.
And I also fell down a small little hole, though not as extensive as you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and it was based off this track, I've Got News for You.
You phoned or you'd be late, 'cause the train you took had passed. Then you walked in smiling with a crack pipe up your ass. I got news for you, baby. I got news for you, little girl. Somehow your stories don't ring true. I'll whack you.
I like this one. It's just like a straightforward Chicago blues, kind of Blues Brothers style. track.
Yeah, a very straightforward blues song. Again, but this is a little bit of an outlier based on the big band sort of jazz lounge singer vibes
definitely.
of the rest of the record.
In terms of actors, this is more what like Bruce Willis was doing.
Absolutely it was, yes. So this is a cover song that is originally written by Roy Alfred, and the first version comes from 1948 by Woody Herman and his orchestra.
You phoned me you'd be late, 'cause you took the wrong express. And then you walked in smiling with your lipstick all a mess.
No crack pipe in the ass for that one.
No crack pipe. Oh, that wasn't original?
No.
Quite a different arrangement on that one too. That was way more big band.
Absolutely it was. Yeah, it didn't have that classic blues riff, that blues standard.
Well, it did. It didn't have the I know what you're saying. It didn't have like the guitar in a smoky bar feel.
Right. The ba-da-na-na-na. So I got curious about that.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to know, where did that come from? The ba-da-na-na-na. Ba-da-da-da-da.
Okay.
So the first song that I thought of was a Muddy Waters song, Mannish Boy.
Yeah.
Now, when I was a young boy.
This song came out in May of 55.
Okay.
And it turns out this song was a quote-unquote answer song to a Bo Diddley song from April of 1955 called I'm a Man.
Now, when I was a little boy, at the age
Whoa, yeah.
So just a couple of months apart there.
Real quick, what is an answer song? Was this like a beef?
It's like a playful sort of a beef, but it's not like I want to destroy you, Kendrick Drake kind of a beef.
Sure, okay.
Because the Bo Diddley song is I'm a Man, and then the Muddy Waters follow-up to it is Mannish Boy. So it is like but Bo is significantly younger than Muddy, so it is like there's already an age gap, and it's like it's a sort of a weird thing. But the reason that Muddy Waters responded with an answer song is because I'm a Man was inspired by a Muddy Waters song that came out in January the prior year, 1954, called Hoochie Coochie Man.
The gypsy woman told my mother before I was born.
So I found all of this to be pretty fascinating.
This is quite the back and forth.
And if I understand it right, if I am fully grasping this, Willie Dixon is the person who you should attribute that ba-da-da-da-da blues standard riff to.
Okay.
If I understand it right. So that was my little rabbit hole of just being like, where did that come from? So I think it was Willie Dixon.
Okay. Wow. What? Yeah. I've never thought about that before. Like, where did I mean, like, it's just like a scale, but played that way. Like, we all know it as the blues thing. It's like one of the most memorable scenes in The Office is Steve Carell as Michael Scott doing this sound with Craig Robinson.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've seen this, Sean, but
I haven't.
It's pretty hilarious. It's basically the gist is Craig Robinson's character is trying to cheer Michael Scott up because he's just broken up with his girlfriend, and he's like, let's sing the blues, and he like tease him up for it by going da-na-na-na. And instead of jumping in with like his actual words, speaking his blues, Michael just starts going da-na-na-na-na, and it's just a back and forth of them going da-na-na-na-na on a car ride. Wow, nice. That was a good dive. I did not know where you were going to go, and I didn't expect it to be there. That was fantastic.
Well, I also didn't know where you were going, so, we get to trade rabbit holes.
So next up, we have the first of the two that we can confirm as being in the character of Cousin Vinny.
Yes.
The song we're going to talk about now is I Can't Give You Anything But Love.
I can't wait forever. I'm a hot little thing, Vinny. You don't give me what I want. Somebody else will, Vinny. You better give me something more.
Fuck you, you little whore.
Oh, it catches me off guard.
It's so brash.
Pesci was really embracing that he was like known for his potty mouth.
Oh my God, yeah.
Hey, who's that other person singing?
It's Marissa Tomei
From the movie?
She's in character, yeah.
And she's good.
She sounds so freaking good.
I don't think I've ever heard Marissa Tomei sing. Have you?
No.
Yeah.
Which is, so I got curious. What else did Marissa Tomei sing in that I haven't seen? Answer, not much. But I did, in 2019, find a clip of her and Woody Harrelson from, do you remember they were doing all of these live sitcom episodes on TV with modern actors? So it's like they did an episode of The Jeffersons. They did an episode of All in the Family.
Yeah.
So Woody Harrelson and Marissa Tomei were Edith and Archie Bunker on All in the Family. So they sang the theme song.
Wide awake, Glenville play.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like us, we had it made.
Those were the days. And you knew who you were then.
That was great. I mean, the whole thing about singing that song is you're supposed to sing it off key, and she nailed it.
Exactly.
All in the Family, by the way, was a show that was always on in reruns when I was a kid, where I understood nothing.
Oh, sure.
Where as kid brain did not grasp any concepts they talked about in that show.
That's true. Yeah. So this song is another cover. Did you catch that, Dustin?
I did, yeah.
The music was originally written by Jimmy McHugh, and the lyrics are done by Dorothy Fields. Comes from 1928.
Super old.
By the Meyer Davis Swanee Syncopators.
Oh, that's a great name.
I can't give you anything but love, baby. That's the only thing I've plenty of, baby. Dream a while, scheme a while, we're sure to find happiness, and I guess all those things you've always pined for.
Now, this song is mostly an instrumental. It only has about 40 seconds of the song with lyrics.
Oh, wow, really? Man, that is... To find a 1928 recording, was that even sung into a microphone or was that yelled into a horn? Like reverse phonograph style.
No kidding.
It's got the sound for sure.
Yeah, it really does.
That's a good find. Man, Pesci must have a pretty deep knowledge of jazz and blues from yesteryear.
Dude, to get him and Dan Aykroyd in the same place talking about this shit would be a fascinating thing to see.
Oh my God. Yeah. Tell me about this song that we just played that is 3 years shy of being 100 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
That's wild. Yeah.
Well, here we are still talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. We're only getting to the point where we can talk about 100-year-old songs because there wasn't much recording earlier, song-wise, complete song-wise, earlier than the one you just played.
Fair.
I mean, obviously, Edison had, recording devices and stuff, but 20s, 30s, definitely where music as we know it, even resembling music as we know it, starts to become a recorded phenomenon.
Right. But yeah, it is very interesting how he takes these crazy old songs and sort of polished them up in 1998.
It's great, yeah. For what he's doing, and there's nothing wrong with them. I love that they're staying alive in this way.
Totally.
And in the tradition of blues and jazz, I mean, God, I just played 15 versions of Junko Partner, and they're all great, and they're all different, and that's what you do. And some of them have lyrics that are different, and he's doing the thing with tweaking the lyrics. His are much dirtier.
Sure. Yeah, crack pipes up the ass.
Crack pipes up the ass, and then I'm pretty sure the "shut the fuck up, you dumb whore" or whatever he said was not in the 1928 recording.
No, gotta believe that's not in there. Well, dear listeners, we've got one final song left, and it is arguably the best song on the album. Once again, we're not going to talk about everything that's on the album. We're going to leave you with lots of stuff to discover on your own, but the highlight is Yo Cousin Vinny.
Fredo was my cousin, he couldn't make his bail. I was talking to his father, he said let him rot in jail. But I pitied his poor mother, she said I was a prince. I paid his bail, he's out of jail, I ain't seen the fuck since.
Hey, Cousin Vinny,
The chorus of this song is so fucking great.
It's awesome. It's so catchy.
It just explodes with an energy, and I cannot contain myself when it happens. So there are two other versions of this song on the album. There's an Italian version and a Spanish version. Did you listen to either of those?
Oh, did I?
Cucino Vinny.
The Italian one is my favorite. Cucino Vinny is so fucking good.
Cucino Vinny, and then, of course, in Spanish.
God damn it, it's so good. I could listen to this song in any language that I don't speak and still love it to death.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm impressed with, like, it sounds like he's delivering those lines really well.
Right?
Like, I looked up, I was like, does Joe Pesci speak Italian or Spanish? And I believe the answer is no. He just nailed it on the recordings. I love the other versions as much, if not more, than the English one.
Oh, yeah. The Italian one I really, really like. It's so funny. Every time it hits the Cucino Vinny, I'm like, fuck. It's like, it just hits so much better than hey and yo. It's so good.
I wonder what the logic behind doing those versions was, because that wasn't a major thing to do your crossover versions in 1998. I don't think.
I can understand the Italian one because all of his characters are so Italian in their nature. So that one sort of fits for me.
Sure. It may have to do with the songwriter, Don Roberto. He's done some other stuff with Enrique Iglesias, it looks like.
I mean, it does sort of have that mariachi horn sound.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that sort of leans it to having the Spanish version of it also. Funny you should bring up Don Roberto, though.
Yeah.
Because I saw a bunch of different places that were not crediting Don as the writer of this song, and it was crediting an R. Allen. And then I also saw some places that were crediting an R. Allen along with a W. Morrell. But those are definitely wrong, because I saw pictures of a 7-inch of Yo Cousin Vinny, and it credits Don as the writer of this song.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I mean, unless that's a pseudonym, we've run into a couple of those, but
Well, even still, he wouldn't be credited as two because of the places I saw that credited R. Allen and W. Morrell.
Fair. Yeah, interesting. I wish this stuff was more clear and in a database that we could look up. It would sure make this job easier.
There is one thing that's very clear that I found.
Yeah. What's that?
It's the fact that this song, along with several other songs on the album, are produced by Tom T-Bone Wolk.
I saw that, yeah.
And that's significant to me, at least, because he was the bassist for not only the SNL house band, the years of G.E. Smith, but he was also the bassist for Daryl Hall and John Oates, specifically the Maneater song, which we talked about in Sing Street.
We did.
And he was the bassist for Curtis Blow's The Breaks.
Oh, wow.
So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, definitely. There are a few people from the SNL band on this record. Notably to me, Lenny Pickett, who is the, I believe, current SNL band leader. You guys have definitely seen him before. He's the big white-haired saxophone player. He's at the beginning and end of every single episode of SNL for the last... I don't know how long.
Forever, yeah.
And he was a very important member of the group Tower of Power, which, if you haven't heard them, check out Tower of Power.
So that's going to do it for the songs we're going to talk about in this episode of the show. And the normal question is weird for this one.
It feels weird.
The fictional character released a full fucking album for us to listen to. So I will you continue to listen to this album in the future, I guess is my question for you.
We're in an Animal House scenario. It leapt out of the picture and into reality.
Macho Man situation as well, yeah?
Yeah, I'll keep listening to Pesci tracks as long as he's making them. I'm happy that we have several albums of his work. I would love to hear some more originals.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed in the 2019 album having no songs written by him.
Yeah, I would like to hear something that he's written that's a little more from the heart, that's not trying to be the character of the potty mouth wise guy.
Yeah.
As fun as that is.
I agree.
But yeah, man, it's weird. What I would have really loved is more adventures with Cousin Vinny on screen.
Oh my God, yes.
There were more adventures with Vinny in the form of books. I don't know if you caught that.
No shit. No, I didn't.
Yeah, there are 2 sequels in the form of novels.
But the movie is not based on a novel, right?
No.
So the novels happened after. Wow, so it's like a
correct
fanfic.
Almost, yeah.
Wow, interesting.
I didn't get a ton about those, but yeah, I saw that there were 2 books continuing the adventures of Vinny because it works so well. You could take it in a serial crime-solving series type way so easily. It works so well. You could Hardy Boys this guy. You could Poirot this guy so fantastically.
It would have been great. It was a missed opportunity, honestly.
A Brooklyn Matlock.
Just seeing him and Marissa Tomei fucking kicking ass and taking names, man, I would have been all down for that.
Oh, dude, yes.
Well, I've had this CD since at least 1999, so I'm a hard fucking yes.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
This one being important to you as it is. Are you going to keep listening to the 2019 album or the 60s one?
Well, hey, so speaking of the album from 1968, our mutual friend Paul Getz gifted me that album on vinyl.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I will be spinning that from time to time.
Little Joe sure can sing. Nice.
Wrapping up this show, I want to go ahead and let you know next week is going to be a really fun episode. We're going to do Dreamgirls.
Dreamgirls. Yeah, kind of continuing where we left off with Sparkle.
Right.
In terms of reenactments of the Supreme's career story.
Right, yeah. So if you missed the Sparkle episode or you need a refresher, please go ahead and do that before next week's show.
Yeah, fire that up in the meantime, and I will. You know what? I'll try to do the same so that I know what I said.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And we'll meet you on the other side.
So if you had fun today, like we had fun, dear listeners, please give us a rating and review on whatever platform you're currently listening to this show on, and if it happens to be YouTube, please give us a like and subscribe.
And check us out anytime, anywhere at fictionradiopod.com and fictionradiopod@gmail.com.
See you next week for Dreamgirls.
Watching movies and jamming out. KFLX 198.4 Fiction Radio.